You can find more big deals in store or by visiting Fosters.ky. Fosters, better prices because we care.
For the Record is brought to you by Vamped Motors, the only authorized Ford and Toyota dealership serving the Cayman Islands. Coca-Cola, available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga Distributors. Accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury. Caribbean Bakery, made Cayman fresh.
Also brought to you by Ropers Enterprises, 122 Industrial Way. Products and services for better public health. Green Turtle. Take a ride on the Green Turtle Express today. Download the Green Turtle app, the future of mobile, saving lives today. The Ministry of Commerce, Planning and Infrastructure, and by West Bay Pharmacy, taking care of your health.
This is For the Record with Ort Connor.
Coming to you live from Radio Cayman Studio.
For the record.
For the record. For the record. Hear from your government officials, independents, and the opposition on issues that matter to you.
For the record.
Engage in an open dialogue between residents and lawmakers.
For the record.
For the record. For the record.
Informative, impartial, insightful.
This is your talk show.
1-800-534-8255. Your calls, your input. This is For the Record. And now, your host, Ort Connor.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. O land of soft, fresh breezes and verdant trees so fair. Welcome to For the Record. Today is Friday, the 7th day of May 2021. I hope and I trust that everyone had a restful, peaceful, enjoyable evening. Those of you who are on the roads of the Cayman Islands, again, we urge you to please be extremely cautious. Please ensure that you observe the rules of the road. And remember, by so doing, the life you save may simply be your own. For those of you who are celebrating a birthday today, we want to wish you a happy birthday, or if you celebrated one over the past few days, a belated happy birthday as well. Those of you who have lost loved ones, again, we want to extend our sincere condolences to you. We hope and we trust that your faith will help to carry you through these very challenging times, and that the memories of your loved ones will also be a blessing to you. For those of you who are not well and are either at home or at a medical facility, we want to wish you a speedy recovery as well. So folks, I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman, and by extension For the Record, into your homes, into your vehicles as you traverse the busy roads of the Cayman Islands, into your places of work, wherever that may be. As you know, For the Record is a show produced by the staff and management of Radio Cayman, and it is geared towards keeping you abreast of issues as they arise and play out on the local, regional, and international scene. I'm your host, Ort Connor, and you're welcome to join me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 7:30 a.m. until 10 a.m. During that period, our phone lines are open. This morning, it is the radio voice of DJ Lynn waiting to take your calls. You can call us on our toll-free number provided courtesy of Flow. That toll-free number, 1-800-534-8255. You can also call us on 949-8037 and a 949-6990. If you don't like to talk on the telephone, email us at fortherecord, one word, fortherecord at candw.ky. WhatsApp us, 925-3261, where you can send us a text message or leave us a voice note, the contents of which will be played during the course of the show. And of course, you can follow us on YouTube simply by subscribing to Radio Cayman live stream. This morning, it is my pleasure to have in the studio with me none other than Dr. Steve McPhail. As you know, Dr. Steve was pretty busy a few days ago in the court system. And then on Wednesday, he, I believe, attended the parliamentary prayer breakfast. And I'm going to get his take on what took place there, what the attendance was like, and have him give an analysis of that for us as well. So, Dr. McPhail, good morning, sir. Welcome back to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. For the Record, and good morning, and thank you for welcoming me back to your show. And good morning to all your your listeners in For the Record Land and all the people in the Cayman diaspora and all listeners that listens to you every Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Good morning to everyone. Yes, I had the opportunity and the honor to be invited to the first parliamentary interfaith prayer breakfast.
Oh, okay.
That is what it seems to me, because nearly every faith in the Cayman Islands, every faith in Cayman Islands were present, involving parliamentarians and leaders of the faith community. I guess it was supposed to be an opportunity for parliamentarians of both sides of the House to join together to celebrate the Cayman Islands' diversity and communal harmony, while highlighting the shared interests and values that are common to us all, or Christian values that are enshrined in our Constitution. That's what it seems to me. And Miss O.C., the message throughout Wednesday morning, as I see it, was the renewed hope that Christian truth brings to our society. This was a great opportunity for us to pray with our parliamentarians and for our country, and at a tremendous challenge that we're now facing. And the prayer breakfast provided a great chance to come together and to stand in solidarity with the elected government. That is what it seems to me. Absence of the opposition members were something a little mesmerizing to me. The only opposition member there was the honorable leader of the opposition, Mr. Roy McTaggart. All the other opposition members did not attend the breakfast. And one of my old professors always told me when I was doing my degree in political science and history that the art of compromise is the first principle, he said, of government, of a successful government and political career is the art of compromise. That's what he says to me, and I felt that that was lacking at the breakfast, because the art of compromise in government and politics, what it means is an agreement reached throughout mutual concessions or an acceptable adjustment between conflicting ideas or desires. That's what a compromise means, and it seems to me that this bitterness of losing, it seems to me, travails all through our community, and if we don't come to grips with this, it is not going to be good for us. Because I would have loved to see all the parliamentarians there at that historical morning, Wednesday morning, because it was the first time that we had a parliamentary breakfast. We have legislative breakfast before, but not a parliamentary breakfast. And the majority of people there, as I saw, were the sea of people that were there. Were so many people there were the ordinary grassroots people. There was not the elite, powerful, rich, powerful people there. There were people from every district, and the prayers and the scripture readings that they did were enormous and was touching. And you remember Reverend Small, who used to work with the Compass. I think he became a priest in the Anglican Church. He has a daughter that is a priest now.
Okay.
And she said that it was so great to see so many people there, and how they came together in harmony to praise God and to bless, ask for blessing and to ask for blessing. That moved me really, and like I said, there were no elite people there, or if they were there, I didn't see them. It was most of the grassroots people from all over the island, from East End, from North Side, from West Bay, from Georgetown, all over the island, and it was just a tremendous morning for me. I have my take on the absence of the opposition, except for their leader, Honorable Roy McTaggart. And I would like to say that it was not good for them to boycott the first parliamentary breakfast, because it looks like they're still angry that they lost the election and they could not put a unified government together to rule, to run the country. And I would like to say that trade deals. Let's take how trade deals have to be made, and agreements have to be made. Marriage deals have to be made. So does compromise and government and politics have to be made. And there's no reason why they could not have compromised and came down to the Ritz-Carlton where the breakfast was, and to say a few words on behalf of the government like everybody else did.
Okay.
Everybody else did it. They said, and they spoke about unity and about giving their blessings to the government and giving them a chance to see what they are going to do. They did not do that.
Did you see any of the other unsuccessful candidates? Were any of them there? Were you able to determine whether or not any of them from either side?
I can't remember if they were there, but I was just looking for the people who, because it was a parliamentary breakfast, I was looking for the members of parliament there. I didn't see too many of the other people there. But there was a whole sea of people, which was great, and like I say, it was a little long, because I got seated around 6:45, and it went on until after 10. Wow. And the scripture readings and the prayers and everything was so touching, and it actually moved me to see that at that particular stage, people were coming together and were saying, praying with the government and praying for the government and praying for their country and compromising, and this great compromise was in place, and I really appreciated that.
Okay, we're going to take a commercial break. When we return, we're going to continue on the same topic.
Yes.
I'm curious to know whether or not there was a keynote speaker and things of that nature, and then we want to talk about the current members of the opposition, as well as those candidates who may have lost the importance, if they intend to seek public office in the future, how important it is for them to remain visible and
in all
relevant
those places and
as
relevant.
Well. Yes.
Because there's an old saying in politics that if you lose the election today, you start running for office against tomorrow.
Right.
And no better place for them to be visible was like to be at the parliamentary breakfast.
Exactly. Folks, please stay tuned. For the Record with Dr. Steve Macfield will continue after this short commercial break.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, He hath founded it upon the seas.
The early charts of Grand Cayman notes the small village of Hogstyes and is known today as the busy hub of Georgetown, the capital city of the Cayman Islands. Although relatively insignificant in the past, the area's development was fostered due to the suitability of its location. Similar to Watering Place in Cayman Brac, Hogstyes offered potable water from an inland source, leeward shelter from the prevailing winds, and a good holding bottom. The small gun battery named Fort George equally offered peace of mind and security to the harbor town community of swineherds and fishermen. Thanks to its geographical benefits, the offshore anchorage would later grow into the primary maritime conduit. And during the winter months and the onset of nor'westers, ship would also seek shelter by anchoring along the southern coast.
Information from this historical vignette was sourced from The Maritime Heritage of the Cayman Islands by Roger C. Smith.
Radio Cayman's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
The Black Tie Affair with a Circus Twist. Step right up, the second annual gala hosted by Rotary Central for the Alex Panton Foundation. Saturday, May 29th, Marriott Beach Ballroom. Step right up supports the Alex Panton Foundation, dedicated to serving and preserving young people through vulnerable times, mental health intervention, treatment, guidance, preserving precious life. The Rotary Central Gala, The Black Tie Affair with a Circus Twist, sponsored and supported by Wheaton Precious Metals, Nelson Attorneys at Law, Massive Equipment, Cayman Spirits. Rotary opens opportunities.
The Green Turtle app. So many options. One easy solution. All new subscription feature to automate your weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly top-up. Makes your life easier. Never lose a number again. Keep your children on budget. Yes! Make sure you can stay in touch with your loved one. Woohoo! No hassles. Green Turtle makes it easy. Take a ride on Cayman's Green Turtle Express. Download the Green Turtle app today. It just makes life easier. Remember, you can get mobile gift cards for Xbox, PlayStation, Apple, and Spotify delivered right to your phone. Playtime is now in real time.
I grew up in a Canadian village with a general store that had just about anything you could ever need. That's what I'm reminded of every time I go into West Bay Pharmacy. It's not just because it's well stocked with necessities and oddities, but also because it's like our community hub. The staff treat customers like friends. Ron and the team of pharmacists have kept my family patched up and flu-free for years, and there are usually a few good laughs mixed in. They are truly taking care of my health and my family's health. West Bay Pharmacy is the very best of Cayman kind.
Did you know that defective airbags can cause serious injury or even death if not repaired immediately? Right now, millions of vehicles around the world are under recall for faulty Takata airbags, and yours could be one of them. At Vamt Motors, our priority is to make sure the Toyota or Ford you drive is safe. So we are offering customers a free, fast and easy airbag swap out if your vehicle was manufactured in 2016 or earlier. Find out if you need to have new airbags installed by emailing your Ford or Toyota vehicle's VIN or vehicle identification number to service@vamtmotors.com or stop by Vamp's Service Center or call us at 949-2245. Don't risk it. Get the airbags in your Toyota or Ford checked for free at Vamt Motors on Walkers Road.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay.
No one can stop me when I taste the feel.
Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice-cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, Cayman.
It's time to buy smart. It's time to buy Ropers. Find everything for your home and kitchen at low prices. Ropers. Appliances, dishware, bulk foods, and so much more. With huge savings. Ropers is stocked for your hurricane supplies. Don't cut back on your needs. Cut back on your spending with Ropers. Your neighborhood store. Value, integrity. Ropers Enterprises. 122 Industrial Way. Call 949-2511. Clean up your spending with Ropers. Ropers, providing products and services for better public health.
System 1 loaded.
1-800-534-8255. What is on your mind when it comes to the government, independence, and the opposition? Issues that matter to you. 1-800-534-8255. Waiting to hear from you. For the Record.
This is For the Record with Ort Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. My pleasure to have in the studio with me this morning Dr. Steve McPhail. And before I pass the mic back over to him, I want to say that our own Miss Paulette Connolly here at Radio Cayman will be celebrating a birthday tomorrow. So in advance, we want to wish her a happy birthday tomorrow as well. Won't tell you her age, but if given permission to do so, I will. But Miss P, we want to wish you a happy birthday tomorrow. Enjoy it, enjoy it, enjoy it. Yeah, we'll take calls if you have a caller and two callers. Okay, let's grab the callers first. First caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. O'Connor.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning.
Okay, now, yeah, good morning, Dr. Steve.
Good morning, sir.
It's disappointing to hear that all the opposition did not attend the prayer session.
Yeah, the person who was in attendance was the honorable leader of the opposition, Mr. Roy McTaggart. He gave a scripture reading, and then after he did that, he left.
Yes, because that is very important. Prayer is one of the most powerful things in the world that we can do as human beings. Because things that we're not able to do, taking it to God in prayer, He's able to do it. And the opposition needs to be thankful that they're still members of Parliament, even though they might not be the government. They still are able to have the opportunity to bring things to the floor of the House that needs to be done for the Caymanian people. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, caller. Next caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning.
Good morning, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Maxfield.
Good morning.
I wholeheartedly agree with what Mr. Maxfield said at the beginning of the show, because it's not only the people that were elected before that can't seem to get over this thing. Members of the public, too, that wanted certain people to go in, because the biggest curse out I get in my life from an 8-odd-year-old woman 2 days ago, and I was surprised. I mean, if you hear the dirtiness that I was told, and I mean, I didn't expect something like that. I can't even say who it is. It's more like almost a family member. And if you hear the dirt that they told me, just because and I was not even talking to them, they picked up a conversation that were on the phone to somebody else, but because the properties are adjoining, and they even threatened to hit me with a rock. Can you imagine? Can you imagine?
Yes.
Can you imagine?
I can visualize that.
Huh?
I can visualize that.
And I mean, the dirt, if you hear it from I tell, and then the daughter gonna come telling me about, I need to respect whatever. I say, you know, it's how nothing go. And there's two sides of the story, and I don't have to lie. And the dirt that she told me, and it hurt me, and if I had a mother or a grandmother like that, I would be ashamed of them.
So, caller, how do we get beyond this point now? The elections are over. The result is there. We have a government in place. We have a premier. That's our government, irrespective of whether you voted for them or not. How do we get beyond this acrimony?
To what I'm saying, just because the person was talking to me and I was on my phone, they were on their porch. I didn't even see them, to be honest, because they don't wake up that time morning. This was before 11 o'clock. And I was picking up leaves from my yard that come over from theirs that I have no tree. And the person was talking to me, and I had my phone down in my waist, and I had the plugs in my ear. And I had already picked up a handful and went to dump them. When I was coming back, the person said to me, how you like that the person that you voted for got in? And I just yelled out, yes, Wayne Panton is the premier. And then this is what I said. I said yes, because they said that he was going on backbench. And Roy McTaggart was going to be the premier. I said, but Mr. Roy is good with figures, but he cannot speak like Wayne. And when I come back, all to know I hear when the person said, are you throwing that slur at me? And then they blah, 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 and they went and whatever. And I was saying, then they cleaned out that the other guy that were bring me. I said he didn't bring me no harm because I didn't beg him none. Your son and your grandson eat it. I say, and I didn't eat. I wasn't even home when he bring it. I said, well, all I begged him for was to put 2 lights that all of us would get benefit out up in here. I said, they nearly killed my brother about 4 weeks ago in that same spot, but I will get him now because Wayne Panton is the premier and he got mouth and he got action. And I mean, I was told all kind of dirt. All kind of filthiness from an 8-odd-year-old and somebody that is professing Christian and can't, but I wish I could find out the pastor name and I would call him and tell him about his sister and tell him he needed a doctor again.
Okay, caller.
All kind of dirt, and I was real upset about it. Then they're going to come now, but there are people not going to say how it went. They're going to say that, why tell her? But yes, I told her some stuff too. Because like I tell them, if she wants respect, she going to earn it, not because she's 80-odd and I'm 66. and whatever I'm supposed to be. Well, I don't even want to call that.
I can only suggest that two of you try to break bread together and make peace, because if you're neighbors, you have to live, seeing each other at the end of the day. Put the politics aside at the, and maybe my suggestion is you just don't want to discuss it. Talk about the fruit trees, talk about something else, and forget about the politics. We need to get beyond it. Caller, I want to thank you very much for that. Dr. McPhee, we've got 1 minute before we go to the, I'm not sure how much we can say in that 1 minute, but what I will do, someone has shared with me the fact that the Privy Council in the UK, that's our final court in
final court of appeal
for the Cayman Islands, and they have refused leave/permission to Shirley Ralston to appeal the Court of Appeal's judgment. Therefore, the Court of Appeal's interpretation of Section 70 that we do not need a general referendum law was correct. Acting Judge Tim Owen was wrong. The government's referendum law was constitutional. And we're going to try to find more about that on the website for the Judicial Committee of the Privy Council. Folks, top of the hour, 8 o'clock news. When we return, the conversation will continue with Dr. Steve McPhee, and we still haven't finished talking about the parliamentary prayer breakfast as well. So please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back immediately after the 8 o'clock news.
Want even more great deals every time you shop?
Yeah, who doesn't?
Well, Foster's now have an even larger weekly specials catalog with deals in every department, just like Nature Valley granola bars, 2 for $6. Save $3.98 on 2.
And I found Ben & Jerry's ice cream, selected varieties for just $4.69 each. Save $2.30.
But hurry, price is good until May 19, 2021.
You can find more big deals in store or by visiting fosters.ky. Fosters, better prices because we care.
The voice of the Cayman Islands.
89.9 FM in Grand Cayman and 93.9 FM in Cayman Brac and Little Cayman.
Silver wings shining in the sunlight.
Radio Cayman.
The 8 a.m. news is proudly sponsored by the Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. For further information, please visit chamberpension.ky. The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. We're here for you. We are a not-for-profit, member-centric plan with a democratically elected volunteer board of trustees representing all sectors of the Cayman Islands economy. We have an all-in expense ratio of less than 1%, over 20,000 members, and $490 million in assets under management. We were the first multi-employer pension plan approved by the regulator in the late 1990s, and today we are still strong, secure, and are here for our employees and employers alike. If you would like to join or require further information, visit chamberpension.ky. And for information as it happens, follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, or Instagram. Email admin@pensions.ky or call 745-7630. The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. We're here for you.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
With your latest news, I'm Karsley Fuller. Police say 2 drug investigations have resulted in charges and the seizure of large quantities of drugs. Radio Cayman's April Cummings reports.
In mid-April, police arrested a 30-year-old East End man and a 23-year-old woman, each with drugs in their vehicles. Police say the 2 appeared to be driving in kind of a convoy formation. One of the vehicles had 120 pounds of ganja inside, the other about 8 pounds worth. The following week, a search of a Spots Newlands residence led to the seizure of more drugs and landed 3 people in custody, a 31-year-old West Bay man, a 49-year-old from Boddentown, and a 29-year-old West Bay woman. Related searches led to more drugs and the arrest of a 26-year-old West Bay woman. Police say the investigation led to the seizure of more than 800 pounds of ganja. April Cummings, Radio Cayman News.
The Department of Environmental Health says works underway at the Serrana luxury condo site in West Bay, which have sparked concern from some members of the public, are legit and outside their jurisdiction. The Department of Environment says they were called about activity at the site and they sent conservation officers to assess the situation. The backstory is the department was consulted on plans for the development in 2019, which included partially filling the Barcadier and a reduced setback from the sea. At the time, the DOE says it recommended that the proposed building be relocated further from the sea to increase the coastal setbacks and avoid the need to fill the Barcadier. The DOE highlighted to the Central Planning Authority that there would be impacts to the marine environment from the filling. Under its rules, the CPA may accept or reject the DOE's recommendations when they make their decisions regarding developments. And in this case, the DOE says the CPA opted not to follow the recommendations. In 2020, the CPA granted permission for development, including a variance to the standard coastal stepbacks, allowing it to be built closer to the sea and partially filling the Barcadier. The DOE says as these works were given planning permission and fall within the landowner's boundaries, it's the jurisdiction of the planning department, not theirs. The chief medical officer says the island's high reliance on travel makes vaccination for COVID-19 even more critical for Cayman than in other countries.
We are affected by an awful lot of travel, so we wish to have a much higher level of vaccination than perhaps some other countries would need in order to give us population coverage and control and safety.
Dr. John Lee says variants of the coronavirus are also a concern, which is why he's pleased to hear the UK still plans to support the island's vaccination efforts going forward.
Booster doses are probably on the horizon, probably towards the end of the year, and some of those boosters will also cover variants of concern or may in fact be boosters of our original dose, and it appears from early trials that these are going to be very successful in keeping SARS-CoV-2 under control.
Health officials continue to urge the public to get the COVID-19 vaccines already given to the islands by the UK government, which expire at the end of June. The first dose needs to be taken by June 9th. You can find the scheduled locations at hsa.ky or check out radiocayman.gov.ky. Now with a check of international news, here's the BBC, which will take us out of the newscast. I'm Karsley Fuller from Radio Cayman's Newsroom.
BBC News, with Jerry Smith. Japan has extended a state of emergency to control the coronavirus until less than 2 months before the start of the Olympic Games. The regulations cover cities such as Tokyo and Osaka. The government says they needed to bring infections down and relieve the pressure on hospitals in some areas. The party of Britain's Prime Minister Boris Johnson has won an overwhelming victory in its first big electoral test since Brexit, capturing an opposition Labour Party stronghold. There was a 16% swing to the Conservatives in the by-election in Hartlepool in northeast England. The UN Human Rights Office has urged Brazil to hold an independent investigation into Thursday's police operation in Rio de Janeiro, which resulted in at least 25 deaths. It said the storming of a poor neighbourhood by heavily armed officers was part of a long-standing pattern of using unnecessary and disproportionate force. Economic data from China shows the country has rebounded more strongly from the impact of the coronavirus pandemic than was forecast. Demand for Chinese electronic goods has picked up in recovering markets such as the United States, while protective equipment sales have increased in those still struggling with the pandemic. BBC News.
The 8 a.m. news is proudly sponsored by the Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. For further information, please visit chamberpension.ky.
The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. We're here for you. Are you aware of the performance of your pension plan? The Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan provides quarterly fund fact sheets for our members to stay informed with the plan's performance. For the year ended August 31st, various life cycle funds provided returns between 9.2% and 16.5%, and our all-in expense ratio is currently the lowest it's ever been, a record low at 0.72%. Visit chamberpension.ky to review our fund fact sheets. You can see the performance as far back as 10 years. Remember that pensions are a longer-term investment strategy. Focus on the long term rather than the short-term returns. The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan continues to perform for you.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman for the latest in news and information.
Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, www.radiocayman.gov.ky.
Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
The Black Tie Affair with a Circus Twist. Step right up, the second annual gala hosted by Rotary Central for the Alex Panton Foundation. Saturday, May 29th, Marriott Beach Ballroom. Step right up supports the Alex Panton Foundation, dedicated to serving and preserving young people through vulnerable times, mental health intervention, treatment, guidance, preserving precious life. The Rotary Central Gala, The Black Tie Affair with a Circus Twist, sponsored and supported by Wheaton Precious Metals, Nelson Attorneys at Law, Massive Equipment, Cayman Spirits. Rotary opens opportunities.
That thing we've been saying for 64 years, ignore it. Eat the KFC wings, drink the KFC gravy, fill up on fries. Just please forget the thing we normally suggest. You know, that thing you used to do with your tongue after finishing a delicious piece of our KFC chicken. We get it. It's not easy. There's a reason why it's been our slogan for over half a century. But the world's drastically changed of late, and as soon as we can embrace the change, the sooner we can all get back to doing what we do best. KFC. It's good.
Water Authority Cayman wishes to advise its valued customers that the public water service along a portion of Shamrock Road will be interrupted on Friday, 7th May from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. to facilitate pipeline improvement work in the area. Works will impact customers along the following roads: Shamrock Road between Hurst Road and Agricola Drive, Jason Avenue, Destiny Avenue, Lavender Way, Lancelot Drive, Watershed Circle, Starstruck Link, Daniels Drive, Armstrong Avenue, Christian Berry Drive, Woodland Drive, Timberland Close, Wallbridge Drive, Emerywood Way, Brookshire Way, Sagebrush Way, Shade Tree Drive, Elnor Close, Agricola Drive, Eleanora Watler Drive, Lottery Road, Cadet Drive, Damsel Close. The Water Authority apologizes for any inconvenience this interruption in service may cause and thank you for your patience and understanding.
The 8:10 a.m. Weather Report, Monday through Friday, is proudly sponsored by Pan American International Insurance Corporation. Pan American International Insurance Corporation, meeting the life, accident, and health insurance needs of individuals and businesses to ensure financial security and peace of mind. For more information, call 949-8304 or visit www.palig.com. That's PALIG.com.
For over 100 years, more than 5.8 million people across the Americas and the Caribbean have placed their trust in Pan American Life Insurance Group. We have delivered on our promise and have proven that we are more than an insurance company. We are family. To learn more about our first-in-class individual and group life, disability and accident solutions, please visit Pan American International Insurance Corporation at Unit 221, Cannon Place East, North Song Road, Grand Cayman, or contact us at 949-8304 and visit us online at www.palig.com. Pan American Life, people you can trust for life.
For additional weather information, visit www.weather.gov.ky. As well, stay in touch with Radio Cayman for the latest in news and information. Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
The 8:10 a.m. Weather Report, Monday through Friday, is proudly sponsored by Pan American International Insurance Corporation. Pan American International Insurance Corporation, meeting the life, accident, and health insurance needs of individuals and businesses to ensure financial security and peace of mind. For more information, call 949-8304 or visit www.palig.com. That's PALIG.com.
For over 100 years, more than 5.8 million people across the Americas and the Caribbean have placed their trust in Pan American Life Insurance Group. We have delivered on our promise and have proven that we're more than just an insurance company, we're family. To learn more about our first-in-class group health and employee benefit solutions, please visit Pan American Life Insurance Company of the Cayman Islands at Unit 221, Cannon Place East, North Sound Road, Grand Cayman, or contact us at 949-8304. You can also visit us online at www.palig.com. Pan American Life, people you can trust for life.
During these unprecedented times, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Cayman Strong Series. The Cayman Strong Series is brought to you by OnCourse Cayman. Visit oncourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. OnCourse Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
Achieving your goals is a very rewarding feeling, but at times can feel very frustrating, especially if and when we miss our target. As you approach your goals in life, set yourself up for success.
When setting your goals, tell a friend. Having an accountability partner is often helpful in achieving your goals. Let your parents and partner know what you are planning or doing. Sharing with others also helps us to develop the ideas and our vision. Writing down your goals can help to solidify them for you and help you to stay accountable.
Change your thinking and change your life.
Radio Cayman's Cayman Strong Series was brought to you by OnCourse Cayman. Visit oncourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. OnCourse Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
These days, feelings of loneliness, anxiety, stress, and depression can be overwhelming. Just know you are not alone. OnCourse Cayman offers private mental health services for children, teens, adults, and groups. Visit oncourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. OnCourse Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
At Subway, we know a meal isn't quite complete without a side, and that's why we're introducing waffle fries.
All I want is
Subway's waffle fries are oven-baked softness with extra crispy edge, giving a satisfying taste to be enjoyed as is or in any of Subway's dipping sauces. Order waffle fries as a side item for $2 or make it a meal deal. Subway, eat fresh.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
With Logic, you get more things you do want, like faster fiber internet, more TV, entertainment, and better customer service. And you get less of the things you don't want, like waiting, boredom, and disappointment. More of the good, less of the bad. It just makes sense. Or should I say, it's logical. See what I did there? Call us or go to logic.ky to find out how you could be getting way more of what's good.
Healthcare Pharmacy, caring about your health for the past 25 years. Radio Cayman's premier health show.
Alzheimer's and dementia, are they the same disorder?
Yeah, I think that's a very important question.
For the Health of It with Tara Bush. For the Health of It with Tara Bush.
Is heard on Saturdays at 9:30 a.m. and on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Brought to you by Healthcare Pharmacy in Grand Harbor, where they care about your health. Transfer and refill your prescription online. Visit healthcarepharmacy.ky or call 947-8900. Healthcare Pharmacy, now with a new and second location in Governor's Square. The new Healthcare Pharmacy in Governor's Square is open Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturday, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Healthcare Pharmacy, where they care about your health.
For the Record with Ort Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the Record with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me, Dr. Steve McPhail. I want to remind you our phone lines are open in the event that you wish to call, or toll-free number 1-800-534-8255. You can also call us on 949-8037, 949-6990. Email us at fortherecord, one word, fortherecord at candw.ky. WhatsApp us, 925-3261. Let's see, I have a WhatsApp message here. It says, good morning, host and guest. I must say I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed with the members of Parliament that did not attend the parliamentary prayer breakfast. This was the first one as Parliament, so they have missed the opportunity to be a part of history. They must remember that they applied for this job and the people voted for them to represent them. If they are bitter because they are in the minority, then they should resign and let persons who truly want to serve the people be in those positions. Elections are over and we have a lot of work to do. So we need to live in harmony and work for the best of our country. Yes, and like I said, if the government succeeds, we succeed. If the government fails, we all fail as well, Doc.
Yes, and it seems that a lot of people are still upset with the compromises that had to be made in order to form a government. I would just like to share with your listeners, if you allow me.
Sure.
An abstract from the journal article Democracy, Compromise and a Representation Paradox. It is written by a guy called Richard Bellamy, and it is published by Cambridge University Press. And I would just like to read an abstract from that article that appeared in an international journal of comparative politics. Mm-hmm. And this is what the abstract says. It says, coalitions are often condemned as undemocratic and unprincipled because of the compromises they involve. Politicians are accused of betraying the commitments they made during the election. Mm-hmm. Paradoxically, proponents of this view suggest that if compromises are to be made, they should be pragmatic and based on policy rather than principle. This article disputes this thesis and defends compromise as both principled and democratic. The first section distinguishes a shallow compromise based on the maximal satisfaction of exogeneity, defined preferences from a deep compromise resolution resulting from reasoning on principles, and argues it proves impossible to avoid the latter. The second section suggests that the obligation to compromise forms a part of the ethics of democracy, whereby citizens must agree despite their disagreements. The third section includes by showing that while representatives will almost certainly betray their electoral mandate if obliged to make only shallow compromises, they can legitimately engage in deep compromise for their voters when they reason as they do. And then I would just like to share with you listeners too that examples of compromise. In March, the House of Commons the House of Lords made amendment to set up a judicial committee of former judges in Parliament to look at trade deals with states accused of genocide. The government proposes a concession because the rule was that Britain would never deal with states that were accused of genocides. Another compromise. Recently, the British government reached a compromise with the rebel members of the ruling party, over a disagreement of how much say Parliament has on the imposition of regulations to restrict the spread of COVID. So compromises are made all the time. And there's also an article by a guy called Wallace Bennett, and he says that a compromise is a mutual promise. It properly describes an agreement reached through mutual concessions or an acceptable adjustment between conflicting ideas or desires. It may also require the presence of a third or disinterested party or arbiter to make the compromise work or to bring the compromise together. So compromise is one of the first principles of political science that I learned when I was taking my degree in political science and history. And I don't see why people are so upset, because the British government also reached a compromise and reaching compromise every day. And I would just like to go on to share with you also, and I have a note here, I'm trying to find it now. That Boris Johnson now is prepared to make a major compromise to secure security ties with the EU by pledging in a deal on the future relationships not to rip up the Human Rights Act. The UK said by EU sources to be moving in negotiations on the issue in Brussels after previously insisting that the government would not tie its hands in an agreement on the future relationships. So these things happen all the time. And single-party governments in Britain, especially, and in Cayman too, single-party governments was the norm. But that is not so now. That has been changing, where a single party do not get a majority. And where you have now, it's now multi-party politics or compromise coalitions or minority governments are going to be commonplace in Cayman, it seems to be now. And so now we have to adjust. We have to adjust our politics to the change in future as it unfolds before us, so that as a result, single party government will not be eclipsed by the majority on culture. That will be insisted in Cayman Islands in the future. I just do not understand why we do not expect that the norm will change and change will continue to occur and change will, and the single party government will not become more entrenched as we go along in the new political system. Sometimes in the future, we are going to have to face another uphill battle, and that is when, if the British government tells us that we have to go, although they have not told us that yet, because they're always saying, "Oh well, it's up to you." So they were giving us refuge on the decision they were made. They're saying it's up to you, and we do not want to take any further steps, but we will have to also make compromise on that also. So I do not understand why we're playing the fool, and we don't use the occasions in which arises for us to be able to highlight our political acumen. It seems to me that the first parliamentary interfaith breakfast in Cayman would have been a great way for the opposition to show that we have put this behind us, and now we are part of the whole, and that we too wants to pray to make Cayman great and to continue a very peaceful and prosperous society, because that was what the prayer breakfast was all about.
Okay, one of our listeners has written in and said it appears that the majority of the opposition looks at being in the opposition as degrading, failing to even attend the parliament last week when 2 members did not show up. Power hunger is a problem here. Opposition position can be powerful, but it seems some of our opposition lack the knowledge of their role. If any of them miss Parliament again, we the people should demand no pay for those who fail to show up in Parliament.
Well, whether they like it or not, a readiness to compromise remains the greatest skill in modern politics today, whether they like it or not. Mm-hmm. That is the art. And so if they have to make compromise with individuals to form government, that is the greatest skill in modern politics today, as I have said. And they have to get used to it, because it's going to happen not only in this election, it will happen in the next election and the next election and the next election.
Mm-hmm. And there may come the time when the government may have to rely on them, because we've seen it happen in other occasions, may have to rely on the opposition to help get legislation through. I see one of the biggest challenges that's going to take place, and is going to be whatever decision comes from the Privy Council in relation to the Day-Borden appeal. And I believe that is where you're going to see, if any legislation has to be enacted or amended, that is where you're going to see some dissension on, possibly on the government side, and the opposition having those who lean towards the judgment of the Privy Council. The government's going to have to look for the opposition to get their support in that regard. That's where I see.
Yes, and then the other thing that bothers me with what I saw is that I understand where some of the venom is being directed to, but people get in trouble. People get in trouble with the courts, and people get in trouble in their marriages, and people get in trouble in their societies, and so forth. And people pay the price. And some people have made the ultimate sacrifice when they get into trouble. Mm-hmm. But then there's a time when you have to move on, and there's a little I was looking at at something here. I'll find it later on. I'll find it later on for you. But the thing about it is that, yeah, we're saying, oh yes, even if you look at Matthew's 5:25 in the Bible, and I mean, I am no way professing to be 100% Christian, but this is what Jesus said: agree with thine adversary quickly. That's what he said in Matthew 5:25. And then that brings me to the hypocrisy that I see it happening every day, because it is enshrined in our Constitution, and this is what it says: the people of the Cayman Islands, recalling the events that have shaped their history and made them what they are, and acknowledging their distinct history, culture, and Christian heritage, and his enduring influence and contribution in shaping the spiritual, moral, and social values that have guided their development and brought peace, prosperity, and stability to these islands through the vision, forbearance, and leadership of their people who are loyal to Her Majesty the Queen, affirm their intention to be a God-fearing country based on traditional Christian values, tolerant of other religions and beliefs, and so forth, and so forth, and so forth. If we believe those things, and if those things are enshrined in our Constitution, and someone gets into trouble, they pay the price. They say they're sorry. They have asked for forgiveness. Then, if you're a Christian and you believe all of these things that the Constitution say, you accept that and you move on. Mm-hmm. You move on, and you look for greater things. You move on. You don't stay in the corner and mope about it. You move on. And any people who cannot move on are dinosaurs. They are political dinosaurs if they cannot move on. And that's what I say this morning.
Okay, we're going to take a commercial break now, folks. For the record, with Dr. Steve Macfield, will continue after this short commercial break.
Whether you're finishing a new condo, upgrading your rental property, or simply renovating, make Roper's Enterprises your first stop. Quality furniture at a fraction of the price. Find everything for your home and kitchen at low prices. Roper's, your neighborhood store. Value, integrity. Roper's Enterprises, 122 Industrial Way. Your home deserves a quality finish. Visit their showroom or shop online at ropers.ky. Ropers, providing products and services for better public health.
When I was growing up in Cayman, Sundays was always a big day for our family. Everyone would go to Granny's house for Sunday dinner after church. Even today, I can still smell the aroma of all the delicious food we used to eat, especially the hot, fresh baked bread smothered in butter, topped off with our favorite pan cheese. These days, I don't have enough time to cook and bake, but I do my best to carry on the Sunday tradition of family meals, and being able to get hot, fresh bread with no preservatives or additives from Caribbean Bakery is a big help for me. Shh, don't tell them, they still think I baked it. Caribbean Bakery, now delivering every Sunday to McGrath's grocery store in Eastern Avenue and Marina Drive. Caribbean Bakery, made Cayman fresh.
Hi, I'm remodeling our bathroom. I have a few questions.
Sure.
What are some ideas to make my bathroom feel larger? How do I know if I'm picking the right vanity? How do I choose a new toilet or a new countertop? Also, the lighting is terrible. Can I put a window or a skylight? And do I really need an exhaust fan?
You've come to the right place. At Brand Source, we custom design kitchen and baths, and our talented design team can help answer your questions. Whether you're looking for a modern, functional family bathroom or a luxurious personal retreat, we'll help create that beautiful space that makes your home yours. And if you're in a rush for a new look and have a limited budget, our ready-to-install bathroom vanities built with solid wood and countertops of the finest materials are a quick and easy remodeling solution.
For the very best in custom-designed kitchens and baths, visit Brand Source Home Gallery on Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, Cayman's Kitchen and Bath Center.
Did you know that defective airbags can cause serious injury or even death if not repaired immediately? Right now, millions of vehicles around the world are under recall for faulty Takata airbags, and yours could be one of them. At Vant Motors, our priority is to make sure the Toyota or Ford you drive is safe. So we are offering customers a free, fast and easy airbag swap out if your vehicle was manufactured in 2016 or earlier. Find out if you need to have new airbags installed by emailing your Ford or Toyota vehicle's VIN or vehicle identification number to service@vantmotors.com or stop by Vamp's Service Center or call us at 949-2245. Don't risk it. Get the airbags in your Toyota or Ford checked for free at Vant Motors on Walkers Road.
The Green Turtle app. So many options. One easy solution. All new subscription feature to automate your weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly top-up. Makes your life easier. Never lose a number again. Keep your children on budget. Yes! Make sure you can stay in touch with your loved one. Woohoo! No hassles. Green Turtle makes it easy. Take a ride on Cayman's Green Turtle Express. Download the Green Turtle app today. It just makes life easier. Remember, you can get mobile gift cards for Xbox, PlayStation, Apple, and Spotify delivered right to your phone. Playtime is now in real time.
I grew up in a Canadian village with a general store that had just about anything you could ever need. That's what I'm reminded of every time I go into West Bay Pharmacy. It's not just because it's well stocked with necessities and oddities, but also because it's like our community hub. The staff treat customers like friends. Ron and the team of pharmacists have kept my family patched up and flu-free for years, and there are usually a few good laughs mixed in. They are truly taking care of my health and my family's health. West Bay Pharmacy is the very best of Cayman kind.
The Progressives invite all supporters and well-wishers to an appreciation celebration this Friday, May 7th at the Lion Center. The fun starts at 7 p.m. Come and enjoy good music, food, and refreshments this Friday, May 7th from 7 p.m. at the Lion Center.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system. For information that matter. For the record, with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me, Dr. Steve MacPhail. Doc, on Wednesday, the new government had their first press briefing as well, designed mainly to talk about COVID-19, but other questions were posed by reporters as well. We'll talk a little bit about that, and we'll talk about the them coming on board as far as the drive to have as many people in the Cayman Islands who can be vaccinated to be vaccinated as well, and what their plans are for Saturday at the Owen Roberts International Airport as well. But meanwhile, we do have a caller. Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Hello.
Yeah, good morning.
Morning, everyone. Rambo speaking.
Yes, you are. Go right ahead, Rambo.
Mr. Osi, 2 minutes. Mr. Osi, in politics, right, they're all about compromise and liability.
Mm-hmm.
Now you go give and take, you sacrifice. Okay? Mr. Osi, now, I go international. You know me, right? I go above the horizon, right? And below.
Mm-hmm.
Right, in the past, right, the former USSR, in the US continent, USA continent, and how you go to war is a massive destruction. The abbreviation is that's got the abbreviation. Joe Biden recently now, President time. Joe Biden. We talk about the Kremlin, right? And the controversy with the Crimea in Ukraine. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Recent now, UK election. Obviously, Scotland won't be independent. They're withdrawing. So they're isolating, more like that. In the IRA, IRA, Russell Ireland, IRA Continental. You know she go, right?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Cayman here, we blessed Ms. O.C. and Dr. Steve. We blessed here in Cayman, this part of the hemisphere.
We certainly are, yeah.
Yes, we are.
Exactly, right? Precisely. And what happened in the UK now, obviously, we got different time zones. The Greenwich Meridian, right? Meridian mean, right? And they're plotting and teaming, more likely, the opposition, whoever. So, What you call about this morning, Mr. O.C., Dr. Steve, this 4-year duration in 2025, when it concludes, I hope it's going to last. You understand? And I finish what I'm saying now. Mr. O.C., Dr. Steve, what you call about this morning now?
Yes.
I live in a contemporary, modern era, dynamic era. The story of the day is gone. Out of the wind, out of the question. It's time to recognize the herbs. You understand? This part of the hemisphere at least. Right? I mean, enough for everyone, but recognize that. That's a norm. You understand? Because the world in chaos and calamity. And like I say again, we blessed and fortunate here in the Cayman Islands. So it's time to recognize the herbs and sort skylark around it and la land the way around it. That's all about this morning. So see, Dr. Steve, have a good weekend.
Thank you very much, Rambo, and you do the same as well. You do the same as well. So the press briefing went well. You mentioned off air the fact that the Minister of Finance, Deputy Premier and the Minister of Finance presented a brief overview of the government finances. You want to?
Yeah, I was impressed with the Minister of Finance and the way he has jumped into the job quickly, but that didn't surprise me. That well because he has great skill, and there's an old saying that knowledge and education is power, and that skill is strength, and he shows his strength. And what I gather from what he shared with us was that that the country is in good financial shape, and that also says a lot, and for the past government and how they manage the finances of the country, and for their stewardship and how they sail the ship Cayman along. And they didn't have to take on extra money to pay the crew for all the work that they did, and that makes me feel better now than I did after the election, because I was not here or there, but I wanted to know. I wanted to hear the facts of the case, of the matter. As a lawyer, I want to hear the facts of the case, and I heard the facts of the case, and that makes me feel so great. And it shows that the responsibility, because in our Westminster form of government, the responsibility to find solutions to the problems of our citizens are chiefly with the cabinet. Is a cabinet who has to find these solutions, and I was so happy that the former cabinet kept the country and the ship sailing and kept the bilges dry, and that they did a good job in managing our finances, and that makes me feel really, really good.
Yeah, because we have seen in some previous administrations where a rosy picture was painted about the financial position of the Cayman Islands, and only to find out later on that they were using some sort of accounting gymnastics to get to those figures, and in reality, we weren't as in as good a position as they made it out to be. It does not appear as if that is the case here, based on what the Minister for Finance and Deputy Premier had to say as well. We do have a caller. DJ Lynn will take the caller and then go to the commercial break. Okay, caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Morning, OC. Morning, Dr. Steve.
Good morning,
sir.
Yeah, I heard the gentleman talking about the parliamentary breakfast. Well, I got on Facebook and I got on the radio and I invited people to my meeting, and I asked for a preacher from any church come to pray. A little opening, everybody do it in the meeting, right? But they ain't showed up yet, so don't get disappointed.
Wow.
When you see the preacher not showing up, don't worry about the politician. Yeah, no, Oh, see, remember the thing we were talking about with the British Virgin Islands there?
Yes.
With the marijuana business?
Uh-huh.
No, the British Virgin Islands does not have no legislation in place where they can import cannabis the relative or extract from cannabis and doctors sell it, right? None.
Right.
Huh?
To my knowledge, they don't. There's no legislation there for that, for medical.
Okay, no, right. But we have it in Cayman.
Right.
Now, if I go to school right now and come out as a doctor, I can go and I can sell the marijuana. Right? Because that's what they're doing. But as a farmer, as a poor barefoot Caymanian, we can't grow it to sell it to them. And that is wrong. That's discrimination. That's why the gay people say homosexuals were legal in the year 2000, and they fought for their rights. But we, the poor Caymanian, uneducated, and nobody else stand up for us.
So what you're saying? So what you're saying? Sorry for interrupting you, but what you're saying is that since we're allowed to legally dispense it here, medically, that we should allow people to be able to produce it here, process it here, and then sell it to the dispensaries rather than having to bring the finished product from overseas.
Exactly, sir. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
100%. I mean, how can one part of the society, because they went to college, they're the high achievers, they can make money off of it, but we as our class, we go into prison for it. You see, they just lock up people for gambling, right? £800 a weed. So obviously there's a market here. It's in our culture. The tourists that come here want to weed. We have foreigners from all over the world. They want it. We have to stop discrediting and punishing one section of a society, and that is the indigenous Caymanian. We are the one that is being punished, and it has to stop. I don't know if what got started, if it got come from a revolution, but me personally, I am sick of being discriminated on.
But Mr. Elvis, what you're talking about is you're talking about two things. You're talking about the legality of the medical dispensation of it, and then you're talking about the whether you should have the legal right to sell it to any other person for non-medical reasons, and you know, Mr. Elvis, that when you look at any product, agricultural products or any other products, we still are behind most countries in the world in not producing our own. And that is because so many people make profits off importing stuff to the country. They think the very thing that they import, we could grow here, we could make here, we could manufacture here, and it would be cost less. But that is the nature of our economy, and so it's going to be so hard to get the resources that you are going to need to be able to change, because change is a hard thing, and change takes, in this particular thing, it takes numbers. It takes numbers, and it takes airs in which we listen to your plea. All I can suggest is that you keep on keeping on, and trying to get the cabinet, which is the person that has to actually bring a bill to do what you want to do. You have to keep on their ears, and maybe you should meet with them as often as you can, see them and ask them to make a compromise and adopt some of the things that you want to do.
And they may have to come incrementally
yes.
as well. They shouldn't. While there may be an expectation for everything to happen at one time, you also have to be realistic and see, how you can gradually chop away until you get everything that you want.
And it may be subject to certain conditions too, because in my experience in the courts, Mr. Elvis, what I see, not everybody can take the weed and handle it. I see a lot of people out there who mentally cannot take the weed and make the adjustment. I see a lot of people that go down with the weed. Some of them can't even plead when they come to court.
And and we have to hear from so many sides, because you have to hear from those families who are affected adversely by exactly what you're talking about. Right. Also, Dr. McField. Elvis, you still there with us?
Hey, but Mr. O.C.
Yep.
1 second. Just give me one more.
Sure.
Yes.
Listen to me, my friend. There is Dr. Locklear got on the same radio show in Rooster and say there is no scientific proof in the world that marijuana has anything to do with you going crazy. But I am living proof. Me, Elvis Jeffrey McKeever, that drinking liquor send you crazy, because when I get drunk, I go as crazy and I sell liquor. So I can swear for that.
But what about the anecdotal evidence that there are people who smoke the weed and they sit and they do absolutely nothing else but smoke that, but smoke that weed? You don't think that there's some effect on them?
Hey, O.C. Mr. O.C.
We listen.
The Vice President of the United States now, Ms. Kamala Harris, right? What did she say? She smoked it. She enjoyed it. Right? And she's the Vice President of the United States. So I can leave it like that. So you guys have a nice day, and thank you for listening to me.
Okay. Take care. Let's grab another caller before we go to our headline news at 9 o'clock. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning.
Good morning again.
Come on again. Listen, from the other day I won't get on. I know against legalizing marijuana for medical problems, but not that everybody can get it on the street, whatever, because it's bad enough now that police can arrest it, because there's a lot of people, our young people in Ireland, that messed up from that. We got them out Georgetown walking with their head on the side, walking backwards, and just this morning, before 6, I gathered that at Clifton Hunter, a whole heap of children, they got dogs out there, sniffing the kids now, and I understand that this is grade 11, 15, and 16-year-olds that were selling brownies laced with marijuana, and they say about either 8 or 11 of them end in the hospital. So that's ridiculous. We don't need that legalized.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, caller. Next caller, good morning. Welcome back to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. O.C. Rambo again. Yeah, Mr. O.C., Mr. Dr. Steve, the only problem with the herbs, right? If it's edible, right? You hallucinate from it, or there's some other foreign ingredients in it that you know. You understand? Not a problem. But like I said again early on, buying drinking dangerous. Second smoke, more dangerous. So the herbs, like I say, enough for a border, but it's time to come recognition. Like, my body agree with me, but how she go? Take it out. You can see us. Like I said again, Dr. Steve, Mr. O.C., if it's edible, you got hallucinate, got delusions or illusions. You see where I come from? Me personally, I smoke when I feel like. I buy my tea, good to go. All right? That's my wife, whoever she is. She's like in the morning.
Okay. Thank you very much for that. One more caller before we go to our headline news. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. Moderator.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
And good morning to the doc. I just want to give you all the good news.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, Dr. President Roy. Good morning, sir.
I have gone from the bourgeoisie to the lumpen proletariat. I am now among the cattle.
That's great. You are what they call gentleman rancher now.
No, not a gentleman by any means. This business has to work. This is my economic lifeline.
Okay.
That's why I'm working so hard. Okay. I wish I were a gentleman farmer. Anyway, I'm listening to your show. Very interesting. I have a couple of comments about the parliamentary prayer breakfast.
Yes.
And Mr. Dr. McPeel, I like you. You're a great color commentator.
Thank you.
Excellent. I want to make, from the very beginning, 25 years ago, the backbenchers. We were, if you looked on the program, you will see the original founders of the prayer breakfast. At that very first prayer breakfast, the political directorate boycotted the breakfast. The only legislative assembly members in attendance, elected legislative members in attendance, were the 7 backbenchers, the people who founded the prayer breakfast: Mr. Truman, McKeever Bush, John Jefferson, the late Haig Borden, Gilbert McLean, myself, and John McLean, who were the backbenchers at that time. That's one point I wish to make. The second point is, our system, the Westminster system, is an adversarial political system, and we have a system in which the winner takes all. The losers are hardly ever mentioned because it's a winner-take-all system. We have never reached that level of civility where we can recognize that political directorates change because it is designed to be that way. And we are not magnanimous when we win, and we are not gracious when we lose. And therein is the detriment to our society. Because if the leaders aren't magnanimous when they're on the top, and the losers aren't gracious when they lose, then the system transfers down to the rank and file, and we have a divided society.
Yes, yes.
So we have to work on that. We have to work on these things. We have to work on these things, and it behoves those in power to be magnanimous, and it behoves those people who lose, who once held power but have lost power, to be gracious and understanding. And until we reach that level of civility, gentlemen, I put it to you, we will always have problems in Caymanian society. I continue to listen, Mr. O.C. You make my day, especially when the dock is on.
Sir.
I shall continue to listen and tend my cattle. Have a blessed day.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
I am going to see you this weekend, Mr. President. I'm going to visit you this weekend. Because I am thinking about doing something myself in that vein.
Very therapeutic as well.
Yes.
Top of the hour headline news, 9 o'clock, folks. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Continuing the Caymanian tradition.
Let Cora keep my ground so clean.
The heart and soul of the Cayman people. Thank you for keeping the culture alive.
There's wisdom news every day. From East End to Georgetown, down into West Bay.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman. Your voice, your choice.
Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
Government reported the results of 447 COVID-19 test results on Thursday. 3 came back positive. Public Health is also inviting the community to join packed government leaders on Saturday at 10 a.m. at a vaccination clinic at the Owen Roberts International Airport to take up the vaccine together. Public health experts have recommended one version of the Indian coronavirus variant be made a, quote, variant of concern in the UK. Public Health England is tracking B16172, which appears to spread more quickly than 2 other identified subtypes of the Indian variant. Scientists also believe it is at least as transmissible as the variant detected in Kent last year. A spokesman for PHE said it would not comment on leaked data. The United Nations Human Rights Office has strongly criticized a police raid against suspected drug traffickers in Rio de Janeiro amid allegations of abuse and extrajudicial executions. The deadliest police operation in the city's history left 25 people dead, including a police officer. Residents say police killed suspects who wanted to surrender and entered homes without a warrant. Police have denied any wrongdoing, saying officers acted in self-defense. Those are your headlines. I'm Karsten Lee Fuller.
For the latest in news and information,
follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, radiocayman.gov.ky.
When I was growing up in Cayman, Sundays was always a big day for our family. Everyone would go to Granny's house for Sunday dinner after church. Even today, I can still smell the aroma of all the delicious food we used to eat, especially the hot, fresh baked bread smothered in butter, topped off with our favorite pan cheese. These days, I don't have enough time to cook and bake, but I do my best to carry on the Sunday tradition of family meals, and being able to get hot, fresh bread with no preservatives or additives from Caribbean Bakery is a big help for me. Shh, don't tell them, they still think I baked it. Caribbean Bakery, now delivering every Sunday to McGrath's grocery store in Eastern Avenue and Marina Drive. Caribbean Bakery, made Cayman fresh.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system. For information that matter. For the record, with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me, Dr. Steve Macfield. Doctor, we're going to start to talk a little bit about the COVID-19 situation as well. Just want to mention something that I've been asked to mention, the Progressive Celebration, their appreciation celebration tonight at 7 p.m. And they have a transportation schedule for pickup, 6:30 to 6:35 Kirk Supermarket, Eastern Avenue, 6:40 to 6:45 Brit K House, Eastern Avenue, 6:50 to 6:55 Georgetown Town Hall, 7 to 7:05 Georgetown Primary School, 7:10 to 7:15 Windsor Park, 7:20 to 7:25 PPM head office on Crew Road, and from 7 p.m. Bordentown at 7 p.m. Bordentown Post Office as well. And like I said, their appreciation celebration 7 o'clock at the Lions Center tonight. 7 o'clock at the Lions Center. We have a caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm calling in regards to what that lady just called about with the condition up at Clifton. And I have a child that attends there.
Mm-hmm.
And I get very emotional when I speak about it because my child still has to go there. I went to Bordentown Police Station and reported the school months upon months ago. I went to the station and said, I don't know if this is possible, but I would like to report the school and the drugs activities up there. And now that it's getting out of hand, it's not going to stop until somebody's child gets killed. This is not something that is new. This is something that's been happening. I had somebody call Juliana O'Connor. She says she never heard of anything like that, but yet still children was transported from the school to Georgetown Hospital with substance that their body could not contain. I still have a 13-year-old that has to go there, and I still have to be grounding her that she stay away from everything that is up there. Everything is being swept under the rug, and it's not going to stop until somebody's child gets killed. Now over 12, 13 children had to be rushed to the hospital, some probably still admitted. This is something that has been going on for the longest while. I was planning to protest, and a person in position told me not to go because if I go, they're going to sabotage my child. I went up there and got voice.
So the person that told you not to go, because were they saying that they would sabotage your child or that others would do so?
Oh, that the school might
sabotage. Got you.
Any
Yes.
parent that get loud, now they turn on the child. And I went up there and I voiced my opinion out loud in the whole school. When the principal came down to call me to come to the office, I said, I'm not going to no office. I'm speaking out loud because when I called you and told you that the first child came to my child to ask her if she want ganja to smoke, my baby came home trembling, and I called you and nobody has ever called me back. And now that its situation is getting worse, trying to act like things are perfect, it is not going to help because things are not perfect. The school is full of drugs.
Wow.
And I turned to the security and I said to him, I never come here and see your clothes untidy. How can so many smoking going on in the compound, and ganja is not a scent that is you can smell that anywhere? How can you guys tell me that we're not smelling it, and with the children around the back smoking spliff as if it's nothing, and you guys gonna tell me we're not smelling it? So this is something I went to people at work education department. Nothing. I have done everything I could. All I had to do was grab my child and tell her, I will knock you down if you try it. To try to make her get scared, because the pressure is up there. And if you don't do it, what they do is make you think that you're not cool enough.
So there's a lot of peer pressure.
It's a lot. And I have a 13-year-old that still has to go there. And every day I have to be telling her, remember, don't eat nothing from nobody. Don't drink nothing from nobody. I try to buy candies every evening for her just so that she don't ask anybody for candies, because they're putting the drugs in the candies, in the brownies. And this is not something that is new. This is something that's been going on. I reported it at Bordentown Police Station.
Okay. So what you have tried every avenue that you felt possible, and it doesn't appear as if you are getting any results from it. What do you see your next step as being?
Yes.
My next step was to take her out, and then when I found out the private schools is just the same, so it's something that is here.
Wow.
I took her to another school, make her did the exams, and she passed it. And I said to myself, well, she ain't doing bad if she can pass to get into a private school. But then when I investigated, it's worse there because they're richer, so their substance is cocaine and pills.
Okay. Well,
so this is I have witnessed with my child. I woke up to school 3 o'clock one morning, and I said to them, there's a child coming there to sell this thing, because I found it in a chat that they were selling around. And nothing was done. It was just swept under the rug. So because they're trying to keep things pressed and make it look good. But children are being hurted. And a lot of parents don't even know, because when the children come home and some of them can handle it and they act as if it's okay. But there's a lot of children out there that is being pressured to do this stuff. And my daughter was one. And I wasn't the kind of mother to watch everything. She would have fallen in the crack.
Well, I hope the powers that be are listening
to you.
To you at this point in time. We know years past when it was reported and people were advised that we had a gang problem in the Cayman Islands. We had a gang problem in the schools. We stuck our head in the sand and denied that it was occurring. And then when it started to hit the streets, then eventually people acknowledged it. We hope and we trust that we do not wait that long for this situation to happen.
There's some children that had a fight. I have the video. What do you do with it? Nobody's listening, because everybody's just trying to make Cayman look prestige and stuff. But if you have a situation and you don't handle it, it's going to happen that you're going to start burying children. And that's and this is wrong, because then the children are going to start taking stuff that they don't understand. They just think it's being cool, right? And if you don't have somebody to go and our parents to stand up, and then another thing, if you lick your child, the teachers are telling the children to call 911. So even the old school, they're taking away from you, because they're teaching them up there that if your parents beat you, call 911, right? And I know when I was growing up, I got licked, and if I went down the road and my grandfather heard or my grandmother heard, I got beaten too.
Yeah. Oh yes, I know about that.
And if you went and visit your uncle 2 weeks later and they heard, they were beating you too. Now, I'm not saying that people must abuse their children, but when you take away even punishment from children, you take away everything. They have nothing to fear, right? And this is why I went to the police station with my child and told her, let me report myself first, because if you try it, this is not going to be the mother to play with you.
Yeah, and it's very sad that one politician many decades ago said that one whole generation was already lost. And I mean, many decades ago, I was the one who brought it to the authorities' attention about the gangs and stuff in the courts, and they told me that I was in the wrong venue. That wasn't a place for me to bring up that sort of stuff. And I've seen a lot of people since that deceased died. Some of them are in prison for life. Some of them have lost their lives, and some of them have been destroyed of those young people now. And I really don't want to witness another set of young people go the same way. So I hope that the people who can do something with your complaint is listening, and I hope that they will do something with it very, very quickly.
Yeah, but Mr. Steve, this has been months ago. A call was made to Juliana, somebody who would be considered a person of character, then, because that's how this island is based. Who knows who and who is in position, and that's the fact. That person called them and said to them, "You need to look into this." And she says she never heard of it. How can you never hear of it when children was transported from the school to the hospital in ambulance? And how can you be the Minister of Education and say you don't hear about it, you don't know about it, it's all new to you?
And what does the school administrator have to say about it as well? What's the reaction that you got from them?
Because they would be directly responsible.
When I went to the school, the reaction I got was to carry me in the office and shut me up. Because basically, I went up there on a rant, and the police came behind me because I went and made a report. I said, I don't know if this can be done, but I would like to report the school. There's a video with 2 children fighting 2 days ago, and they're in the changing room for PE, and there's one sitting down just vaping away and cussing, vaping away, and you're going to tell me that nobody's seen this?
Okay, caller, want to thank you very much for that, and we trust and we hope that it's a situation that will be addressed, and thanks for bringing it to our attention. Let's grab another caller before we take our next break. Caller, good morning, welcome to For the Record.
Morning, gentlemen, number one from the back.
Hey, morning, number one, how are you?
Yes, Mr. Number One.
I'm in a bed like that. I was in the hospital down there, but I'm feeling better.
Great, that's good to know.
Mr. Maxwell, special to you.
Pardon me, sir?
I said special good morning to you.
Good morning, Mr. Number One. How are you?
I am trying to live while I'm dying. You can't kill me yet.
Yes.
I want to say something. When it comes to this thing about this marijuana stuffiness about Vice President, so she spoke it. We don't need to follow the United States of England. That's what carrying the Cayman Islands down to hell with a capital H. Following everything that they're doing over there. We don't need it. And this dope is what affecting people. And if the government says it's not right, it's not right. That's my feeling. If I'm wrong, you all can tell me. And I will take it. I say we don't need it. If they want to get permission overseas and hospital need to import it, fine. We don't need no local ganja growing nowhere, selling nowhere. That was setting the Cayman Islands people to mad. I said it, gentlemen, not you. And I still listen to you, and have a good day.
Thank you. Thank you very much, number one. Commercial break. Folks, please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Yeah, people are saying their piece. Okay, I gotta run to that.
I grew up in a Canadian village with a general store that had just about anything you could ever need. That's what I'm reminded of every time I go into West Bay Pharmacy. It's not just because it's well stocked with necessities and oddities, but also because it's like our community hub. The staff treat customers like friends. Ron and the team of pharmacists have kept my family patched up and flu-free for years, and there are usually a few good laughs mixed in. They are truly taking care of my health and my family's health. West Bay Pharmacy is the very best of Cayman kind.
The Green Turtle app. So many options. One easy solution. All new subscription feature to automate your weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly top-up. Makes your life easier. Never lose a number again. Keep your children on budget. Yes. Make sure you can stay in touch with your loved one. Woohoo! No hassles. Green Turtle makes it easy. Take a ride on Cayman's Green Turtle Express. Download the Green Turtle app today. It just makes life easier. Remember, you can get mobile gift cards for Xbox, PlayStation, Apple, and Spotify delivered right to your phone. Playtime is now in real time.
When I was growing up in Cayman, Sundays was always a big day for our family. everyone would go to Granny's house for Sunday dinner after church. Even today, I can still smell the aroma of all the delicious food we used to eat, especially the hot, fresh baked bread smothered in butter, topped off with our favorite pan cheese. These days, I don't have enough time to cook and bake, but I do my best to carry on the Sunday tradition of family meals, and being able to get hot, fresh bread with no preservatives or additives from Caribbean Bakery is a big help for me. Shh, don't tell them, they still think I baked it. Caribbean Bakery, now delivering every Sunday to McGrath's grocery store in Eastern Avenue and Marina Drive. Caribbean Bakery, made Cayman fresh.
You can now renew your driver's license or motor vehicle license online, and you don't need an ESID number. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. Visit www.dvdl.gov.ky.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system. For information that matters. For the record, with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. We do have a caller, but before we go to that caller, I'd just like to share information with you. If you're interested in knowing about the Privy Council's advice that the board proposes to give to Her Majesty in relation to the appeal cabinet of the Cayman Islands and another, who are the respondents versus Rolston appellant. It's you go on to the Judicial Committee of the Privy Council website. That's jcpc.uk. The case number is 2020/0060. The justices who heard that, Lord Reel, Lord Sales, Lord Leggett, the decision, or it's called a PTA, refused on the 28th of April 2021, and the reasons given for the refusal to hear that appeal, it says the advice that is being given to Her Majesty's Privy Council: permission to appeal should be refused on the grounds that the appeal does not raise an arguable point of law of general public importance that the board should consider at this time. So that is the reason given for that. So like I said, if you're interested, if you want to know more about the case in terms of the details of it, you go on to Judicial Committee of the Privy Council.uk, and you can either Google Cayman Islands. If you do that, you're going to find a lot more, because there's so many cases from the Cayman Islands with the Privy Council. There are many, but if you use the case number, which I gave you earlier and which I will repeat again, JCPC 2020/0060, and I want to thank the listener who provided me with that information earlier this morning, because I'm sure that there are persons who are still interested in hearing about that as well. We said that caller left us. Okay, so Doc, COVID-19, the vaccine. Yesterday, Bermuda, they had a press briefing over there. They're going to relax some of their restrictions again. They had a huge surge the other day. In one particular case, they had 3 deaths in one single day. They're up to 30 deaths now as a result of COVID-19. Again, we see how successful we have been here in the Cayman Islands. But in order for us to move forward, it is important for us to have more persons vaccinated. As well, the new government has come on board. I believe the Minister for Health and Wellness, and we'll talk about that as well. They've changed the name now to Health and Wellness, and I think that is a good point, because while we have focused on health in so many instances, if we focus more on wellness, then we don't have to necessarily deal as much with the bad health.
That's right.
As opposed to the good health. But some ministers say that they will be getting their vaccine jab on tomorrow at Owen Roberts International Airport. They're inviting persons out there. They're also proposing they will have incentives for people. There will be drawings for prizes, and several companies and entities have come on board in terms of offering prizes as well. We hope that they receive a strong and robust response from those persons who have not been vaccinated. But in talking with Dr. Hazel Brown the other day and Dr. Lee, we're up to something like over 4,000 persons who received their first jab but have not received the second jab yet. And whether or not some of those persons may have received the first jab and left the jurisdiction, whether or not some people feel, well, I'm pretty confident now that I have had the first jab, I'm okay. Some people may have had an adverse reaction to the first jab and hesitant to get the second jab. But it is quite obvious that we need to have more persons vaccinated for more than one reason.
One of the reasons so we can get herd immunity before we open our doors, our borders. But, just coming back to what we said previously, that we are in solid financial position. Mm-hmm. We're not like some other jurisdictions, and I'm not putting this down to say that they're bad, mm-hmm. but we're a little better off economically than some other jurisdictions, and so we're not hungry for the dollar. Because we are surviving.
Well, I should say some of us.
Some of us.
Yeah, because there are some people who on the current,
I'm thinking about the government.
Yes. Okay, good.
When I'm saying this, the government.
Yes.
And the government is in a good standing. It's good for economic standing, and so I would say it's my humble opinion that the government should take their time and open the borders when it suits the governments, mm-hmm. and not be pushed by outside people to do what they want us to do to our detriment. Because as an individual, I believe in, and I live by the premises that outside influences do not determine who I am, mm-hmm. and I think that we should do otherwise. And
follow the signs as well too.
Follow the signs, because not because everybody's doing it and open up their doors. We have been in a unique position, and the other government has kept us had brought us this far. I would say the other government has brought us this far, COVID free, and I think that we should continue on that road. And we should not just accept opening because Bermuda did it, because Jamaica did it, because Barbados did it, because other people did it. We have shown that we can do things in our own, and that we can make decisions in our own for our own best interests. And I think that's what we should continue doing. But I do realize that there's going to be some repercussions for this pandemic is going to cause some repercussions upon us, like when we want to travel. And now I understand there's going to be something called an international COVID passport that you are going to have to get. And so I would urge people that what they should do is they should go in and get get the job as soon as possible, so that we can get to the point where we can protect ourselves against other people, even if we can't protect other people against us.
Certainly. In listening to the press briefing in Bermuda yesterday, seems as if they have to make some changes as far as their legislation is concerned when it comes to pensions withdrawals. They faced a situation where I think it was 12,000 that they were allowed to withdraw. Some person chose not to withdraw the $12,000, but because it was a one-time withdrawal, they're not. If they only withdrew $6,000, they don't have the ability now to go back and withdraw the other 6,000. So they have to amend their legislation. They're getting some complaints from people now, the possibility of foreclosure on their homes, and so they have to take a look at that again. We know that the pensions withdrawal here in the Cayman Islands was somewhere close to $500 million. Some of that remained in circulation in the Cayman Islands, but we know that some of it left the Cayman Islands as well. Whether or not a second look will have to be taken as far as pensions withdrawal in the Cayman Islands are concerned, I'm not sure. So far, like you said, we're in a pretty good position, but in order for things not to deteriorate and for us to stay in this position, it is extremely important that people get vaccinated. That is what will help, in that regard. It may also give us other options as well for some of these tourist facilities, like those that are timeshares, like say a Moritz or a Wyndham, to create some sort of a bubble where those persons coming from overseas, if there is proof of vaccination, and when I say proof, genuine proof, not fake proof, that they can operate in a bubble until such time as, if they're here long enough, let's say after 5 days and you test negative, then you're able to circulate, within the community. But if the situation worldwide remains the same, where travel is restricted to a certain extent, we may have to look at some incentives as far as the tourism industry is concerned and getting people here. New York City, for instance, the mayor, of course, that has to come with state approval, but they have now indicated that they're prepared to immunize tourists in New York City. So places like Times Square and stuff like that, if you're a tourist and you haven't had the vaccination, they will provide it to you there. That may be something that we may want to consider here in the Cayman Islands, as well. But it would have to be done, in a careful manner.
But what I think we ought to consider too, I know that we are a capitalist country, and I believe in the capitalist society. I'm a little socialist too, where it comes to some aspects of the nation state. But I don't understand why the pandemic should cast all the obligations on the mortgagor and also the tenant to take the losses. Mm-hmm. The pandemic affects the lending institutions as well, and it affects the landlords as well. And to be disenfranchised because you can't work, because the economy is not open to you, and for you to take the losses doesn't seem right to me. Yeah. And there should be some sort of consumer credit law that says to the bank, for instance, in these situations, you're not able to take people's houses away from them. And landlords, in this situation where people can't pay the rent, you ought not to be able to expect to get the rent when your place cannot be rented because of the government decision to shut things down or to close borders. You ought to be able to have to take carry some of the financial burden yourself as well.
Okay.
Because I know that a lot of people who rented, and during the lockdown, the landlord was still was still asking them to pay the rent, even though the landlord premises could not be open. Not because the tenants did not want to go back to work, but because the government said you can't go to work and that it's a pandemic and that the business has to be closed. Something is wrong with that with that picture, and I think that the government ought to be looking into something like that.
Okay. DJ Lynn, we have 3 callers. Should we take one before the break? Or are we going to take the break? We're going to take a break. We have 3 callers on hold. As soon as we return from the break, we will take your calls. And then I have something that I want to share about Travel Cayman and some of the issues, with the Travel Cayman website, as well as some of the policies as well. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Did you know that defective airbags can cause serious injury or even death if not repaired immediately? Right now, millions of vehicles around the world are under recall for faulty Takata airbags, and yours could be one of them. At Vant Motors, our priority is to make sure the Toyota or Ford you drive is safe. So we are offering customers a free, fast, and easy airbag swap out if your vehicle was manufactured in 2016 or earlier. Find out if you need to have new airbags installed by emailing your Ford or Toyota vehicle's VIN or vehicle identification number to service@vantmotors.com, or stop by Vamp's Service Center or call us at 949-2245. Don't risk it. Get the airbags in your Toyota or Ford checked for free at Vant Motors on Walkers Road.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay. Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice-cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, Cayman.
Honey, our fridge has stopped working again. Everything in the freezer is melting. We need to get this repaired right away. I'm calling Brand Source Service.
When you need the very best appliance service, call Brand Source Service at 623-5000. Offering service and installation of all brands and models of appliances. Brand Source Service is Cayman's source for appliance parts and repairs, with qualified and experienced technicians and the island's largest stock of appliance parts. Brand Source Service will have your repair completed in a flash. So, whatever the problem is, call the experts at 623-5000. Brand Source Service, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park. Telephone 623-5000.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system. For information that matter. For the record, with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. 3 callers on hold. We're going to the phone lines. First caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Yes, good morning, O.C. How are you?
Good morning. I'm fine. How are you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. Good morning to Dr. McField.
Good morning, sir.
Yes. Dr. McField, I have a little request of you this morning before the show finishes. On the property, it's on page 21, number 15. If you could just elaborate on the section C, and just for a few minutes, because I want to congratulate the new government, but I also want to ask them to really look into the situation for me, please. And if you can just make it known to them, the new government, that this is the situation what the last government were really responsible for, and I would really appreciate them sort of taking care of the situation for me, please, sir. Thank you very much. O.C., have a nice day.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Next caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. Good morning, caller. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, O.C.
Good morning, sir. How are you? How are you? Just recognize the voice.
McLean. This is Gilbert McLean.
Yeah. Are you back on the island?
Yes, I am. Thank the Lord.
Okay.
Yeah, but I turned on the radio, or at least on my phone, and I heard you speaking about the situation with the vaccination and some reluctance and so on to take it. I just came back from the States, and I would say to anyone in these islands that is the wise and sensible thing to do, because I read a lot of whatever I can about this, the whole vaccination thing, the for and against and so on. And yes, some people get sick, some people have died after taking it and all of that. But what is the alternative? I mean, it does strike me, and I have had it now, the first and the second shot, at least it gives you some advantage, as it appears that even if you do get the virus, it is not as destructive to you as somebody who hasn't had it. And having left Cayman, I had to have the test done before I left. I had to present it to the airlines. When I got in the terminal in Miami, they had to show it again.
Mm-hmm.
I went with someone who was having medical attention or referred for medical attention. To enter the hospital, you had to have it. In each section that you went, you had to have to prove that. So it appears to me that more and more it is becoming a situation where travel is going to be seriously restricted if people do not have that vaccination.
Mm-hmm.
And there really seems to be no way out of it. When I came back, just before I came back within 72 hours, I had to go get another one. When I arrived in the airport here, I had to have another test. And that is the point really where I wanted to compliment, to pay my compliment.
Okay, Mr. McLean, can you repeat that again? Because there are persons overseas who are going to be returning to the Cayman Islands in the next few days, next few weeks. They have been having difficulty with the Travel Cayman website, and they have issues in relation to the PCR tests 72 hours prior to coming to Cayman. And then, of course, you have to quarantine for a period of time. So it would be useful, again, if you could repeat, what occurred on your return and what your current situation is, whether or not you have to still quarantine or what. That would be useful for the other persons who are in the same situation.
Sure, Rosie, not a problem. I'm happy to do so. Before I returned, I had to go and get the PCR test. I went to a place that was recommended, and I actually took the test, and within 40 minutes I got it.
Mm-hmm.
And I got the business card, and I don't have it in my hand right now, but I'd be happy to pass it on to anyone, because it seems as if it's a place where many Caymanians have gone. In fact, the taxi man that took me there said he has taken many Caymanians there. You get that done, and then you sit and you wait 40 minutes, and you have the results in print.
Mm-hmm.
When I went to the airport, Cayman Airways, before they would check us in, we had to show that certificate that they had given us and that we had been tested.
Mm-hmm.
And on the flight, of course, you had to have that to be able to get on the flight.
Mm-hmm.
And on the flight, you had to wear your mask. And coming back from the States, we had a situation where there was one seat was unoccupied. Going to United States, all seats were full.
Mm-hmm.
And I queried that as to why that is the case, and I was told by an official from the airline, we are in effect a COVID-free country, so we are allowed, they could fill all the seats, but coming back from United States, which is not COVID-free by any means, and particularly in Florida and Dade County, they're having quite a spike in the cases. That is why they have the separation in the seats. And when I got back here in Cayman, I had to take that test. And that was the point that I really wanted to pay compliments to. Gentlemen, when I got to the Owen Roberts Airport, I think the name has changed now, to whatever. Anyway, you could see and smell the cleanness in our air terminal. And I was so impressed to see a whole different crew of younger public officers who were handling that situation, that each step of the way there was someone there giving you directions and exactly what to be done. There were persons who were masked and who were ready, nurses and so on, to give you that test. You got that test. You moved on to get the luggage. And there was those people there to direct you. And you went through and you went straight outside, masked, to a taxi that took you straight to the hotel where you're staying. And when you got to the hotel, there was someone there, and I think I should call the name because it deserves to be said, the Windham here in East End where I'm at.
Okay.
Someone was there waiting, and they gave you full, complete instructions as to what you had to do. You were taken to a room. You're being fed 3 meals. They put it at the door. You have to collect it. And I'm truly impressed, and I think it is commendable that we have a younger set and an older set, because I'm sure it's some of them, that is managing our situation here. It was done with great efficiency, and I could compare it within an hour or two of what I had witnessed in Miami, which is the more aggressive thing, hurry up and this and that and the other. When I got here, it was just very polite, insistent, but very politely handled right until I got in a taxi and left the airport.
Do you have the option of quarantining at home at any point?
Yes, there was that option, but I have family at home, which would mean that they would have all had to lock down along with myself, So,
okay, and your quarantine period now is what, 10 days as opposed to 14?
Well, it will be 14 because I've had both shots, but my wife, she's only had one. So
okay.
I will have to do the 14 as well. But OC and Dr. Wakefield, we have a very efficient operation going on here, and I heard you both saying that we should take time to before we just open up. I totally 100% agree with that, because we don't have to follow Bermuda. We don't have to follow anywhere. It's about time we follow ourselves, and we have been doing a doggone good job of it. So that would be my recommendation, to continue there. And what I'll do, OC, I'll send you the information from the card that I have with that 40 minutes. You can get that test done in 40 minutes, because it might serve for you to put it out there, and it might help some other people, because I did meet people there who were also referred up there for medical reasons, and I guess it would help them too, because fortunately we were able, in one instance, I was able to help another family who was there, and that's the thing to do as far as I'm concerned.
Okay.
And that is the idea of the Cayman kind.
Okay. Well, one more question before you go. In relation to the Travel Cayman website, while you were over there, you had to then make an application to be able to return to the Cayman Islands on the Travel Cayman website as well?
Yes, and there was a hitch. We had to make about 2 or 3 attempts to get through, and finally we did, and then we got the go ahead and so on, that we could travel, or they recognized that, well, yes, here's Caymanians who are coming back and did the necessary.
Got you.
Yeah.
Okay. Mr. McLean, I want to thank you very much for that. Look forward for that information. We certainly we'll be able to share it with those persons who are in Miami and may need that service as well. We're going to take a commercial break, folks. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay. Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, Cayman.
Did you know the third most important factor for customer retention is cleanliness? With 95% of shoppers saying exterior appliance influences where they decide to shop. Keep your business clean with Roper's Janitorial. From offices to restaurants, interior and exterior, walls to rugs and flooring. Roper's cleans it all, including 24-hour emergency service. Roper's Janitorial, 949-2511 or email janitorial@ropers.ky. Dress your business for success with Roper's Janitorial. We make your business shine. 949-2511. Roper's, providing products and services for better public health.
Hi, I'm remodeling our bathroom. I have a few questions.
Sure.
What are some ideas to make my bathroom feel larger? How do I know if I'm picking the right vanity? How do I choose a new toilet or a new countertop? Also, the lighting is terrible. Can I put a window or a skylight? And do I really need an exhaust fan?
You've come to the right place. At Brand Source, we custom design kitchen and baths, and our talented design team can help answer your questions. Whether you're looking for a modern, functional family bathroom or a luxurious personal retreat, we'll help create that beautiful space that makes your home yours. And if you're in a rush for a new look and have a limited budget, our ready-to-install bathroom vanities, built with solid wood and countertops of the finest materials, are a quick and easy remodeling solution.
For the very best in custom-designed kitchens and baths, visit Brand Source Home Gallery on Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, Cayman's Kitchen and Bath Center.
Water Authority Cayman wishes to advise its valued customers that the public water service along a portion of Shamrock Road will be interrupted on Friday, 7th May from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. to facilitate pipeline improvement work in the area. Works will impact customers along the following roads: Shamrock Road between Hurst Road and Agricola Drive, Jason Avenue, Destiny Avenue, Lavender Way, Lancelot Drive, Watershed Circle, Starstruck Link, Daniels Drive, Armstrong Avenue, Christian Berry Drive, Woodland Drive, Timberland Close, Wallbridge Drive, Emerywood Way, Brookshire Way, Sagebrush Way, Shade Tree Drive, Elnor Close, Agricola Drive, Eleanora Watler Drive, Lottery Road, Cadet Drive, Damsel Close. The Water Authority apologizes for any inconvenience this interruption in service may cause and thank you for your patience and understanding.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the record, with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. DJ Lynn, we still have one caller on hold. Let's take that last caller for the morning. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. O.C., and good morning to Dr. McPhail.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Pretty good. How are you gentlemen doing?
Fine, thanks.
Fine. Great.
Good, man. Good. Ever since their press conference, it's slightly before that, but particularly since the press conference, which, by the way, was an awesome press conference, I've been doing some thinking and connecting some dots and have a lot of questions. And I think Mr. McLean, just the last caller there, kind of hinted at some of my thoughts in terms of Cayman and how well we have done in the midst of this pandemic from managing it, and that is managing it in terms of keeping the virus out. And I'm a little concerned, and so whether I'm the person who says it or not, I have a great concern. So I'm pro-vaccinations. That's important and crucial, and we need to get it done.
Mm-hmm.
But there's this sentiment, I think, and I've seen it, heard it also from people who either have tourism-related businesses or otherwise, who feel that this means that we have a carte blanche opening of the Cayman Islands. And I'm deeply concerned with that for a number of reasons. And I think about the press conference. I think April Cummings from Radio Cayman was excellent at raising what I was thinking, which is that Cayman has been in this bubble and so we haven't, thankfully, seen, you know, the carnage from death like other places have seen. Even though we're reading about it, our neighbors, everything from Bermuda and Jamaica and all over. Some of us know people who passed. I do, and the whole nine. And we've been protected from seeing all of that. And so I think there's also this misconception that, okay, you get the vaccine, we can certainly just open up. But Dr. Lee hinted at something that he said greatly concerns him, and it greatly concerns me, and it's been snowballing, and that is the variant situation. And I've been doing a lot of reading, like Mr. McLean, in terms of the impact that the variants are having. And I've come across, you know, some sad stories of people who've been fully vaccinated and they were exposed, in one case, to the Indian variant, and the person passed away. In that particular case, it was some sort of doctor of some sort. It was going around on WhatsApp. But it got me thinking. It was germane to my thoughts in terms of, you know, our thoughts on our whole position on opening up and what exactly opening up means. I don't think that after a whole year of carefully managing all the resources and money and sacrifices that we've made, that we, you know, don't make sure that we cross all the T's and dot all the I's in regards to what exactly opening up look like. Because the reality is that we are still in a pandemic from a worldwide perspective. And we either got, you know, a very tough choice to make, and I hope that the government realizes this, that even if we get vaccinated, that there are men that we shouldn't just be careless or just, you know, carte blanche open up and say we're open, because these variants are not proven to have been highly effective, or the vaccine has not been proven to be highly effective against some of these variants, particularly the Indian one, the Brazilian one. So the original virus, and I think the UK, the B130 or something. I'm even remembering some of the codes for them. The vaccines have seemed to have been very effective against them. They haven't been able to penetrate the vaccine, but we're finding, or we're reading, that these other ones, and we have a huge Indian population here that's very transient, or can be, particularly if we think about opening up and just allowing anybody to come. You know, that we could find ourselves in a very dangerous position in a not too distant future, you know, and we really need to think long and hard of what this opening up looks like, you know.
So true.
You know, whether we consider the vaccines, whether somebody needs to have the vaccines, whether reducing the amount of days, like Mr. McLean just mentioned, but also including the testing, because I think, if I'm not mistaken, and I could be wrong, Dr. Lee mentioned, or I heard the Minister of Health mention, which, by the way, she was really great, but she mentioned something about announcing that the testing, the pre-testing requirement was going to be lifted or something. I want to say that that's what she said. And
you mean from overseas?
From overseas.
And I question that too, because you have to get the PCR test 72 hours prior to leaving, but then you get to the Cayman Islands and then you have the test administered again. Whether or not that may be overkill is, you know, some people are questioning that.
You're wondering whether the pre-testing before you arrive is an overkill, or the one that when you arrive is an
overkill?
Well,
one or the other.
Fair enough, but I suppose the whole point is you know, it's that she actually said, whether it's the pre-test one or the one that you get on the island, the idea, it goes hand in foot, if you will, or hand in glove with the whole notion about whether we're, you know, how careful are we being, and how thoughtful are we being in regards to what this opening up looks like, because the pandemic doesn't care whether we've been in a bubble, and it doesn't care about whether, you know, we've been very careful and we haven't seen the carnage, because the reality is that, and there's proof, and there's examples of that. There's Bermuda, and I saw the article recently in regards to the Seychelles Islands. Now, of course, they said that a third of the people who were exposed and had become ill from the virus had only just gotten one shot.
Plus, they were using the Chinese one that isn't necessarily approved. Also,
yeah, that was one of them. That was one of the kind of thoughts behind it. But the reality is that there are shining examples of places that have had some successes, and because they've had this false pretense that if you get vaccinated and the whole nine, that you're going to be all good. Well, you know, so I had a friend of mine, and I'll leave you with this. I had a friend of mine, a girlfriend of mine, and she said to me, well, what's the sense of getting vaccinated? And to that, it helped me to realize that she didn't understand this whole idea about variants and the breakthrough of variants. And so I think the more education and the more sort of public knowledge that we can get out there to help people to understand, yes, the vaccines are important because the original virus still exists and because the UK one still exists, if you will, the UK variant of it, and that they're highly effective against those. The reality is and most of our visitors are coming from North America, which is having a bit of some of the Brazilian, I understand, and I know recently they closed the border.
Carl, I'm going to ask you to cut it short for me, please, real quickly.
Just to say that we need to be careful and kind of really think through what opening up looks like.
Okay.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you very much. Doc, one of our listeners has said, can you, if I could ask you, what part of our Constitution is contradicting the Health Services Authority's immunity clause or vice versa? I'm not sure what...
sure what that means.
Okay, we'll have to do a little bit more research, on that before we can answer that. What else I have? I do. Please ask Dr. McPhail. Please let Dr. McPhail know that tenants were overheard in line sending off money, saying that the government told landlords to wait on the rent. So what they're saying is that people took advantage of that, and because the government asked landlords to wait for their rent rather than paying their rent, they were sending their money overseas.
Oh, yeah, that's because that is part of the nature of our economy, and that is what happens when you have 30,000 people on work permits, and you're not trying to reduce them. That is a fallout, and that is something that I think that I hope that the new government looks into of how they can reduce work permits, unnecessary work permits, how they can reduce them, and how they can keep more money in this economy, because when you have in a pandemic year, when you could have $100 million being sent to one country alone, that raises the red flag.
One of our listeners also pointed out that they felt that the previous government should have released the pension withdrawal in 2 phases and kept a second phase for 2021. I would have to look at our legislation again and see whether or not it was a one-time withdrawal or whether or not you could have withdrawn a certain amount then and a certain amount later on as well in that regard. But we know the administrative burden that companies faced in getting this that whole pensions thing sorted out, and some companies were delayed in paying the payouts as well. But something we hope that we do not have to revisit it, and a lot of that will depend really on how successful we remain as far as combating the COVID-19.
Yes,
so again, we want to urge persons tomorrow or in Roberts International Airport, if you haven't been vaccinated, go out there, join your members of parliament, join members of cabinet out there and get vaccinated as well. Over to you, Doc. Final closing comments.
Well, I just hope that we can be, that more people in this country can be better informed, united, and inspired to take meaningful action when it's necessary, and that they realize that, as I have said, education and information is power, and skill is strength. That is something that I would like people to go away with this weekend and think about. I would like to say good luck to the new government, and certainly they had a lot of prayers for them on Wednesday from every walk of life, and that impressed me, and I think that they I believe that rooted in authority is and integrity is the will to do well for the people, and I think that we made the choice, and now that we must go on and we must live with the choice that we made, and we must give everybody a chance. People said, for instance, they said they see me on the streets, and they said, "Oh well, you have a great memory, you have a great mind and stuff and things." Well, sometimes you have a gift, and sometimes you have to work towards getting the gift, and it means that you have to have a chance. I mean, somebody has to give you a chance to be able to, even without me having the chance to extend to people what I know. If you hadn't given me a chance to come on the radio show, nobody would know him, because there's an old saying: if an acorn falls in the forest and you didn't hear it, does an acorn fall?
Yes.
So, lot of the people who got elected are neophytes, but give them a chance and let them learn and see what they can do.
All right, well.
And I think they have a good leader, and who will lead them, and lead them very vigorously. And I would like to thank them for allowing me to come to the breakfast, and I'd like to thank you for allowing me to come to your show on Friday. And I will be here every time you ask me, because I love to have access to information and to give it, transfer it to other people.
And we enjoy having you. My listening audience enjoy. They enjoy listening to you as well. And you did say, you just mentioned the fact that the new government has a good leader, and it is important for everyone who's around him to understand also that he is the leader. Do not let personalities or egos get in the way where you try to, or you feel the urge to upstage your leader. He is the leader. You follow his lead.
Yes.
First amongst equals. Remember that.
Good thing you remember that, because on Wednesday morning at the breakfast, I reminded one of the ministers about that concept, and about Jeffrey Archer's book, The First Among Equals. And he said he's going to go and read it. I said to him, if you get it, read it, but if you do it, I will get a book, I will get it for you. And I promised that I'm going to order some copies, because I know that they probably not familiar with the concept of First Among Equals.
Okay, folks, I want to thank you. We've gone way overtime this morning. DJ Lynn, I may have to look another job for you. Got you in trouble this morning. Folks, I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman, and by extension For the Record, into your homes, into your vehicles, as you traverse the busy roads of the Cayman Islands, into your places of work, wherever that may be. I also want to remind you that we are our brothers and our sisters' keepers. There is always someone out there who's less fortunate than we are, and I ask you to extend a helping hand to them. If you can't do that, then I suggest you donate to Worthy Charity, because we always want to consider those who need, not those who need, not necessarily those who want or even those who crave. So I say to you, have a great day. Continue to support your radio station, Radio Cayman. Join Sterling Dwayne Banks at 12:15 for Talk Today. If you have not been vaccinated, take the opportunity. Go tomorrow, Owen Roberts International Airport. Join your members of Parliament. Join your members of Cabinet there. Get vaccinated. Help to protect yourself. Help to protect your friends. Help to protect your families. Help to protect your country. Have a great day, and as usual, we ask the good Lord to bless these three beautiful, wonderful Cayman Islands.
For the Record is brought to you by Vamped Motors, the only authorized Ford and Toyota dealership serving the Cayman Islands. Coca-Cola, available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga Distributors. Accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury. Caribbean Bakery, made Cayman fresh.
Also brought to you by Ropers Enterprises, 122 Industrial Way. Products and services for better public health. Green Turtle. Take a ride on the Green Turtle Express today. Download the Green Turtle app, the future of mobile, saving lives today. The Ministry of Commerce, Planning and Infrastructure, and by West Bay Pharmacy, taking care of your health. Follow Radio Cayman on Twitter. All the latest information, breaking news, community events, and more. Follow us at twitter.com/Radio Cayman.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman. Your voice, your choice.
Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
Light easterly winds and smooth seas will continue across the Cayman area for the next 24 hours in association with a high-pressure system over the central Atlantic Ocean. Radar images show isolated showers in and around Cayman moving towards the west. Our forecast calls for partly cloudy skies with a 30%